Is becoming wealthy truly as difficult as it seems? Or does it simply require the right strategy and ironclad patience? Most people believe that the only path to financial freedom is working harder and exerting more effort. However, the world's wealthiest individuals point to an opposite truth. The real power lies not in you working for money, but in money working for you. This is where compound interest, the system Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, comes into play. When utilized correctly, this system is a financial engine that transforms small savings into massive fortunes. It starts unnoticed and silent, but eventually becomes an unstoppable force.
The mechanics of this process resemble a small snowball rolling down a mountain and turning into a massive avalanche. Those tiny initial steps might feel like they aren't creating any visible change. This is the silent accumulation phase, where most people give up. Yet, compound interest is the mathematical reward for patience. When capital, or a habit, builds upon the previous accumulation in every cycle, it creates a vertical surge rather than a linear increase. Once the critical threshold is crossed, you are no longer working for the system. Instead, the structure you've built starts generating value on your behalf through its own momentum. Ultimately, while constructing the architecture of growth, we must shift our focus from instant gains to long-term strategies. Knowledge, investments, and disciplined habits are seeds. When you water them with consistency every day, they transform into a vast forest under whose shade you will rest years later. The payoff of a small amount of capital planted today holds a much greater potential a decade from now than you could ever imagine. Remember, great success is not the result of giant leaps, but the sum of small differences accumulated silently and with discipline.
What is compound interest, the self-generating power of money? At its core, compound interest means that the money you earn continues to earn for you. In this system, it's not just the initial principal you put in through your own hard work that is deployed. The profits generated by that money are also put back to work. In the financial world, this is akin to money giving birth to itself and building a stronger army with every generation. In traditional methods, you expect an increase based only on your starting capital. However, in compound interest, the true hero is the interest-on-interest factor, growing in the shadow of the principal and eventually overtaking it. To understand this mechanism, imagine a small snowball rolling down from the peak of a mountain. Initially, this mass is small enough to fit in your palm, but as it rolls down, it gathers the snow around it. As its surface area expands, the amount of snow it collects grows exponentially. For instance, suppose you start with 1,000 TL and earn a 10% annual return. At the end of the first year, you have 1,100 TL. But the real magic begins in the second year. You no longer earn returns just on the initial 1,000 TL, but also on that 100 TL profit from the previous year. Your new gain is calculated on 1,100 TL, and the snowball begins to accelerate, gathering more profit with every rotation. Although this process seems slow and unnoticeable at first, it transforms into an uncontrollable force once it gains mathematical momentum. While linear growth moves step by step,
Compound interest makes leaps by stacking numbers on top of each other. This is why, for patient investors, time is not just a leaf on a calendar, but the greatest ally that multiplies the power of money. If you stay within the system, you will witness how that small 1,000 TL transforms into a massive financial fortress over the years.
The greatest ally of compound interest is neither the amount of money invested nor the specific investment vehicle chosen. Its true fuel is time. To understand the miracle this system creates, it is enough to compare two different scenarios: a young person who starts investing with small steps at age 20 versus someone else who starts the same journey at 30. While a 10-year gap might sound like a short period, the final outcome is nothing short of a chasm. Even if the early starter invests less capital in total, they can easily surpass the late starter, who may put in much more money, simply due to the massive leverage effect provided by time.
The primary reason for this disparity is that compound interest follows an exponential growth curve rather than a linear one. While linear growth progresses as 1, 2, 3, exponential growth leaps to 2, 4, 16, 256 as time goes on. The initial years are often boring and stagnant. You may feel as if nothing is changing. However, this phase is a critical preparation period where the system takes root and gathers momentum. Those who patiently endure this stage eventually reach the famous hockey stick effect, where the graph turns vertical and money begins to multiply with uncontrollable speed.
As time passes, growth doesn't just accelerate, it creates a total explosion effect. The total amount you earn in the first 10 years may pale in comparison to what you earn in just the last 2 years, because you are no longer earning returns on the principal, but on a massive accumulation of profit. This is why the saying, "the best time to invest was yesterday, the second best time is today," is much more than a financial cliché. In the architecture of growth, the fundamental rule is this: the earlier you enter the system, the more you allow time to work on your behalf. The biggest mistake: the trap of procrastination and impatience. As simple as the mathematical formula for compound interest is, applying it is equally difficult. This is why 90% of people never benefit from this miracle. The most common mistake is squandering time by saying, "I'll start later." Most people believe that small amounts won't make a difference and wait for that imaginary day when they will have big money to invest. However, in the architecture of growth, the real issue is not the magnitude of the amount, but how early you start turning the gears of the system. Underestimating small sums is essentially refusing to plant the seeds of a massive future fortune into the ground.
The second major obstacle to compound interest is the obsessive focus on short-term gains. Since today's world has conditioned us for instant everything, those who don't see the fruits of their investment within a few months quickly fall prey to impatience. But the truth is this: compound interest is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is an unwavering game of discipline. This game requires putting something aside regularly every month, staying loyal to the plan even when markets fluctuate, and most importantly, not touching that accumulation for a long time. Those who quit early are the ones who stop just one step short of that critical threshold where the snowball begins to turn into an avalanche. Ultimately, contrary to popular belief, wealth is often not a lottery win that happens overnight. It is an accumulation process, built silently, unnoticed, and with patience. In this process, your greatest enemy is not external factors, but your own impatience. If you can control your impulses and allow time to work for you, you will witness how that invisible power transforms into tangible freedom. Remember, financial freedom is not a sprint, but a marathon, and only those who leave the starting line and do not stop win this marathon.
Your choice: procrastination or freedom. The principle you have learned today is fundamentally simple, yet when applied correctly, it possesses life-altering power. Great fortunes are not built through one-time giant leaps, as often assumed, but through small, humble, yet consistently taken steps with unwavering determination. The silent mathematics of compound interest is waiting to transform every cent you might underestimate today into tomorrow's monument of financial freedom. Remember, wealth is not about winning a lottery ticket. It is the story of a seed, watered with discipline, transforming into a giant plane tree over time.
Now is the time to ask yourself this crucial question. When you look back 10 years from now, will you live with the regret of missed opportunities, saying, "I wish I had started then"? Or will you be among those who took action today and brought time to their side? Compound interest waits for no one, and time continues to flow. However, this system eventually rewards those who dare to play by the rules and show patience. Start building the architecture today, because the future belongs to those who prepare for it now.